Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
The following is independently produced programming. The views and opinions expressed are those of the producers and do not reflect the views and opinions of Falls Area Community Television, our staff, or board of directors.
Hi, this is the damn Bourke TV show. Yes. We're gonna talk about today about off day. Yes, but off. You have to keep it cleaned and some kind in a way. Yes. And we're gonna, last week I was tired finding out about the golf on the television on ABC. Yes, they're paying for the tournament. On Saturdays are free and Sundays are 2 or free. Okay. Now, today we're gonna talk about like what we're doing. I like talk about canopy bowling because it's my favorite thing to do. First it's Gary Carrington. Gary's on tour, of course, John Brad. In 1958, October 4th, Saturday at 12 noon. Yes. Now, first, we're gonna talk about my friend, like what we're still Don, the host of the Canopin Show, Mr. Don Garris, a prince, a star, and he really did good for his bars on the worker shows and the table temp shows. Now, Philip and Pusser and the director keeps it together, puts it together somehow. And it's not easy to keep together. And yes, my other favorite guy, first guy, is Ralph Stewart. The Wapendats and the Waffaway. He sits on the Wapwine wine. Cause he's the Wapendats and the Waffaway. He keeps his eyes out for the pen when it goes 2 feet over the zero line. And if it says it's not over the zero line, it stays there. And can't forget Al Didio on the tonic scoreboard. Yes. And type it in of his fingers. Oh, and the outfit he wears is his headphones. And that way, the bowling crew can hear what he's saying to Don. To Don Garris. Excuse me. Now, Mr. Keith Williams on the big board for the folks here, for the wife gallery and the gallery as well, for keeping score on the big board for the folks here. And the gallery as well. Now, after Keith Williams come, Don Wally, our coordinator and coordinator, or you can say schoolkeeper inside the system. Yes. And Brian Howard, he set up the equipment. He set up the microphone for Don Garris. And the TV monitors. And the cameras. TV cameras. And I can't forget Dirt's house. Dirt's Brian Howard on videotape. Yeah, Dirt's Howard on videotape as well. Brian Howard or George Howard on videotape. Okay. Now, let's go on to the next friend. And can't forget the live temperature shows. Come from Pickle Lanes in Haverford, Massachusetts. It was a live show, then of August, Saturday night in August, the end, like 5 o'clock, sometimes 6:30 p.m. And the following Saturday, they have it again. One from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. on Saturdays. Well, yes. Want me to explain to your wife to do that? Just in case you missed it the first time, you can see it again. Yes. Now, we're going to talk about Don Garris. The last temperature show, Jack Sanic. Very good, Jack Sanic. I was proud of you that day. And that was his last live temperature show. And after the Wheaties, and the following week was the Wheaties. The week after the last Tappy Tim show, I went back to the Wheaties again. Then after that, the Mans. And that in that January, before when it got taken off the air, Daniel said, I'm gonna miss everybody on that day. And that was gonna, yes, that was gonna be the last day. January 1st, there was a TV special for dying heroes. January 26th, and the last day, yes, last day, the last balls to step on the lanes, the alleys for the last time, John Senegy and Jeff Fritzes. Yes. Now, about that to be continued. But Phil Combs, Phil Combs, yes. Or Phil Huxton, actually, yes. Give the Canopin Bowen Dan Gilsh's TV show to an old home base. They give it to the Mass Canopin Bowen Associations. And that was Bill Borden and Sue Borden. Pilgrim Winston, now we can say Benno home. Pilgrim Winston here from Massachusetts. Canopin Scans from Pilgrim Winston and here from Massachusetts. Saturdays at 12 noon. At 12. Yeah. And Sundays from Park Place Winds, Wyndham, New Hampshire, Canopin Stars and Strikes. Sundays at 12 noon. 12 noon on Sundays. So Saturday at noon, Canopin from Pilgrim Winston here from Massachusetts, Canopin Skins, and Sundays at noon, from Park Place Winds. It's Canopin, Park Place Winds in Wyndham, New Hampshire, Canopin Stars and Strikes. Sundays at 12 noon. And one more time, it got turns to over to Wyndham Winds on Tuesdays. From Wyndham Winds, Nashua, New Hampshire, Canopin Stars and Strikes. I've Dick West, your host Dick West, and Mike Moran. Oh, and can't forget that hour too. You two are our host. Dag Brown and Dan Murphy. Okay, wish we got that out the way. And yes. And like I said, once in a while, Bruce Goldman will ban a big board for the folks here, for the gallery. And sometimes our video will be on a big board for the keep scoring a big board for the gallery as well, or the audience, I meant to say, excuse me. Yes. Now, the sorry about that. Like I was been saying, I want to thank Wave Sonamo, Sean Howard, Sandy Howard, Sue Howard, and Wade Sonamo, and Sean Howard, and Chris Bobert, Paul Hunter, and all the rest of the crew. Thank you for the wins of my weekend. I've 10 or 9 years, 9 years or 8 years. I'm ready to start to say that. Yes, with your host Dick Rust and Mike Mullen. Good job for 8 or 9 years. And I want to thank Sue Howard for giving out the bonus and the school fan for the scheduled bowling tapings for once a month. Yes, like I say, it's every second Tuesday of the month. And yes, by the way, in the state table champs, state finals from the Wani Bowling Center, Winnewery, New Hampshire. Yes. That was at the Wani Bowling Center, Winnewery, New Hampshire. 2 weeks after ladies, 2 weeks after men's. So that's 6. And 5. Okay. Wait again. 5 weeks after tournament of tapings for the Pack Pitch wins, Wyndham, New Hampshire. It was Canopen Stars and Strikes, tournament of tapings. 5 weeks or 6 weeks, one of those. Actually, no, 5. Okay. And 5 winning wins as well. Yes, and I want to thank John Masrady, the Whopper Dots, and the referee at Pilgrim Lanes for keeping score for Pilgrim Lanes in Hatfield, Massachusetts, and for being the Whopper Line Dots as well at Pilgrim Lanes in Hereford, Massachusetts. Good job, Thomas Brady. Now, Park Petulant, Wyndham, New Hampshire, Canopen Stars and Strikes. The scorekeeper was Sandy Stisham, and sometimes Donna Murphy. Yes, she knows Dan Murphy so well. Yes. She feels it when Doug Brown is not there. And I want to thank again the bowlers for getting all the marks and first strikes in a row. George Barber, George Whammet, Dick O'Connell, Sarah Wega Adder, and Jeff Atkins. Now, Tom Oster, if I say that, and Jack Senek. They got 4 strikes in a row. Can you believe that? 8 Seneki, 11 marks in a row, instead from 9 tenths. And Jack Ray, 10 marks, but 9 tenths. Okay. And like there's a lot of Canopen balls I liked, or for my the times where Mom and I and Danny had together. And once again, one Bowling Center, Windermere, New Hampshire. It's Big Shot Bowling of Bob Furlicker and Dan Murphy. And yes, and Canopen for dollars with Frank Babcock and Mike Mullen. Okay, all right. And I feel interested. Tack and Field is Fridays are 5:15 to 6:30. Wednesdays. But I don't know about the hour days yet. And my favorite game is basketball. And my game after that is golf. Because my daddy teach me how to play golf. And once again, I want to thank Granby and Nana for taping my TV shows of Canopen Skins from Pilgrimage and Hereford, Massachusetts, and Park Petulant, Wyndham, New Hampshire, Canopen Stars and Strikes, Saturdays at noon and Sundays at 12 noon, both days. And once again, Crossroads of Don Crittenden did a very good job coming down. No fumble, sometime in no fumble, and to add Crossroads and Kent from Park Petulant, no, Wheelerlands, I'm sorry, for Canopen Stars and Strikes. And it was December 30, 31st or November 31st, one of those. And and I'll say hi to Gary Garris. Thanks for doing canopy bowling with Don Garris to help him out. That was nice of you. But for what off day means? That means keep your stuff clean. Pick up after people. That's how it's so bad. And tomorrow and today, this week, here we go. It's the weather forecast for the weekend. It's gonna be 40s all this week. We want it warm, but we have to take what we can get. That's probably up to the weekends. It's close to the weekend, yeah. Because I'm going to see my family again. Yes. And before we end today, I want to thank Keith Didio and Al Didio and the rest of the crew for all those years. For a time when how Canopy Bowling has been on the air on 10:05 in Boston, 58 years. Terrific enjoyment of closer 58 of strike-ins and spares. 10:05 been too closed. Thank you. See you next week. Same time, same station. Orioles.